Are you tired of being a background character in your own life? Do you want to unlock unbelievable, world-shattering power? Forget a balanced breakfast. Forget years of hard training. What if I told you the fastest way to become a legendary hero was to have a childhood so unbelievably awful it would make a therapist quit their job? Today we're opening the ultimate self-help book for wannabe protagonists. This is the satirical guide to weaponizing your pain, using the success stories from the world of One Piece. All right, real quick before we get into it. Just so we're clear, this is a satirical look at a fictional trope. We're exploring ideas for fun and analysis. This is absolutely not a substitute for real mental health advice. Okay? Cool. So, now obviously this is dark humor, but like all good satire, there's a fascinating kernel of truth buried inside. In the world of fiction, there seems to be an unspoken rule. The more a character suffers in their backstory, the more powerful they become.
Take Vinsmoke Sanji. He was starved, beaten, locked in a dungeon, and disowned by his own family. A truly horrific origin story. But what does he become? A world-class chef whose entire philosophy is built around feeding anyone who is hungry, no matter who they are. His trauma of starvation didn't just break him, it forged his defining moral code, his superpower. Or look at Nico Robin. Her entire island was obliterated. She spent 20 years on the run, betrayed by everyone, hunted as a demon. Her trauma was one of absolute isolation. So what happens when she finally finds a crew that accepts her? She becomes the most fiercely loyal member, willing to sacrifice herself without hesitation. Her pain of having no one to trust transformed into the power of unbreakable loyalty. It's a pattern, right? Fictional characters take the absolute worst moments of their lives and somehow alchemize that pain into their greatest strength. You might think that's just lazy writing, but it accidentally mirrors a real and profound psychological concept, post-traumatic growth, or PTG. Psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun first coined this term in the 1990s. As they detailed in their work, PTG is the positive psychological change experienced as a result of adversity. It's not about ignoring the pain. It's the idea that in the process of struggling with something terrible, people can emerge with a deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships, and a profound sense of personal strength.
The fiction just takes this idea and turns it to 11, transforming deep empathy into literal fire kicks, or fierce loyalty into the ability to sprout giant limbs. In these stories, trauma becomes a twisted sort of superpower factory. But here's the part the fictional self-help guide always leaves out. This is the dangerous fine print. The idea that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger is a romantic but brutal oversimplification. Because for every one person who experiences post-traumatic growth, countless others are left with the far more common and debilitating reality, post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. The clinical evidence is overwhelming. Real trauma doesn't typically forge superheroes, it leaves scars. It can manifest as anxiety, depression, hypervigilance, and a lifelong struggle to feel safe. The journey of healing is not a clean, linear power-up like in a TV show. It's messy, it's painful, it takes years of hard work,
and sometimes the wounds never fully close. The fiction gives us a highlight reel. It shows us the survivor, but it rarely shows us the sleepless nights, the panic attacks, the therapy sessions. It conveniently edits out the part where Sanji might flinch every time a door slams shut, or Robin might fight a constant, quiet battle with the fear of abandonment. In fact, modern psychology suggests that PTG and PTSD aren't opposites. They can, and often do, coexist. You can become stronger and still be wounded. You can have a deeper appreciation for life and still be haunted by the past. So what's the real superpower here? Maybe the stories, in their own exaggerated way, are trying to tell us something deeper. The power isn't the trauma itself. The trauma is never a gift. The trauma is the price. The real superpower is the empathy that is born from suffering. Sanji can feed his worst enemy because he, more than anyone, knows the pain of starvation. Robin can sacrifice everything for her friends because she, more than anyone, knows the agony of being alone. The power isn't the pain. It's the wisdom and compassion that can be forged in the fire of overcoming it. Fiction turns that inner strength into an external, flashy ability. But in reality, that strength is quiet. It's the ability to keep going. It's the choice to use your own painful experiences to ease the suffering of others. That is a power far more unbelievable than any fire kick or giant hand. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? By creating these powerful, resilient heroes, does fiction give us hope? Or does it create a dangerous expectation that everyone should be able to turn their pain into power so cleanly? Do we, as a society, romanticize suffering because it makes for a better story? And what does true strength really look like? Is it the absence of scars, or is it the courage to show them and to keep fighting anyway?
Perhaps we should stop thinking of trauma as a forge that creates a sword. A sword is hard, sharp, and meant to fight. Instead, maybe it's more like the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold lacquer. The philosophy is that the piece is more beautiful for having been broken. The cracks are not something to hide. They are a part of its history, and they are what make it unique. The superpower isn't being unbreakable. It's the courage to mend and the wisdom to see the gold in your own scars. What do you think? Is this trope in fiction inspiring or harmful? Let me know your interpretation in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into the psychology of storytelling, consider subscribing for more thought experiments. Thank you for watching.